My name is Salvatore Benedetto. Everybody calls me Sal. I am 106 years old, and everybody wants to know the secret. They come to me at family gatherings and church dinners and birthday parties that I stopped counting decades ago, and they lean in close and ask the same question every single time. Sal, what's the secret? How do you live so long? How are you still laughing at 106 when most people can barely manage a smile at 45? They expect me to say olive oil, or red wine with dinner, or walking every morning, or some special Italian remedy passed down from my grandmother in the old country involving garlic and prayer and stubbornness. And yes, I do all those things. I eat well. I move my body. I drink a small glass of wine with dinner most nights, and have since I was old enough to reach the table. But none of that is the secret. The secret is simpler than any of that, and harder than all of it combined. You choose. That's it. Every single morning you open your eyes and you choose. Joy is not something that falls on you from the sky like rain. Joy is not something the world owes you or delivers to your door when conditions are finally right. Joy is a decision. A deliberate, conscious, daily decision that you make before your feet hit the floor, and that you keep making every hour until you close your eyes again at night. Most people never figure this out. They spend their entire lives waiting for the right job to make them happy, waiting for the right person to complete them, waiting for the right amount of money, or the right house, or the right moment when everything finally lines up, and happiness arrives like a package they've been tracking for decades. And they die waiting. They die with the tracking number still in their hand, and the package never delivered, because it was never coming. It was never out there. It was inside them the whole time, and they never opened it. I didn't wait. I decided. And that decision made 60 years ago, in the worst moment of my life, is the reason I'm still here, still breathing, still laughing, still grateful for every single ordinary, unremarkable day. What I survived. Before you think I had it easy, before you assume that choosing joy is simple when your life has been gentle, let me tell you what I've survived. My mother died when I was 5 years old, tuberculosis. I remember very little about her, but I remember the coughing, the terrible wet coughing that shook her whole body, and the handkerchief she pressed against her mouth that came away spotted with blood. I remember the sound of it at night through the thin walls of our apartment in Sicily, and I remember the morning it stopped, and the silence that followed was worse than any sound I'd ever heard. My father brought me to America in 1928. I was 8 years old. He had $40 in his pocket, and not a single word of English in his mouth. We slept on the floor of a relative's apartment in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, with 6 other people crowded into 2 rooms that smelled like garlic and sweat, and the particular kind of exhaustion that immigrants carry in their bones, like a second skeleton. I started working at 10, making shoes beside my father, in a shop so small you couldn't turn around without bumping into someone. I worked until my fingers cracked and bled, and then I wrapped them in cloth and kept working because stopping wasn't something anyone in my family had ever learned how to do. Then I met Anna Maria. She was the most beautiful woman I had ever seen in my life. And I say that having lived 106 years and seen a great many beautiful women since. Black hair that caught the light like something alive. Green eyes that made you forget whatever you were saying mid-sentence. A voice like music. Not like a specific instrument, like music itself. Like the concept of something beautiful entering the world through sound. We had 9 years together. 9 years of marriage that contained more happiness than most people find in 50. 9 years that I have replayed in my memory so many times that some of the details have worn smooth like stones in a river. But the feeling remains. The feeling is still sharp, still warm, still alive inside me after 75 years. Then on June 14th, 1951, a Tuesday afternoon that started like every other Tuesday afternoon, Anna Maria went up to the roof of our building to hang the laundry. She had a brain aneurysm. She was dead before she hit the ground. 28 years old. Gone between one heartbeat and the next, with wet sheets still in her hands. I was 31 years old, with 2 babies, and no idea how to survive the next hour, let alone the next 50 years. Then in 1978, my shop burned down. The shop my father had started, the shop I had taken over and built and expanded over 26 years of 60-hour weeks and bloody fingers and customers who became family, gone in one night. I stood on the sidewalk at 2 a.m, watching 60 years of my family's work turn to ash and smoke. And I thought, this is it. This is the moment I give up. This is where the road ends. So don't tell me about hard times. I know hard times. I have lived inside hard times. I have slept on their floor and eaten at their table and looked them directly in the eye more times than I can count. Hard times don't have to make you hard. But here is what I also know. What hard times do to you is not up to hard times. It's up to you. After Anna Maria died, I had a choice. I could let the grief turn me to stone. I could be angry at God and at life and at the universe for taking a 28-year-old woman who had done nothing wrong except go to the roof to hang laundry on a Tuesday afternoon. And I was angry. For about 6 months, I was the angriest man in Brooklyn. I yelled at customers who didn't deserve it. I yelled at my sister, who was only trying to help. I didn't sleep. didn't eat properly, walked through my days like a man made of broken glass, cutting everyone who came close enough to touch me. My children were afraid of me. My own children, the two small people who needed me more than anyone in the world had ever needed anything, were afraid to be in the same room as their father. Then one night my daughter Lucia came to me. She was maybe 5 years old. She was crying. She stood in the doorway of my bedroom in her nightgown, with tears running down her face, and she said, "Papa, why are you so mad? Did I do something wrong?" I looked at this little girl, this beautiful, perfect little girl, who had already lost her mother, and who was now standing in front of me, believing that her father's rage was somehow her fault. And something broke inside me. Not broke like damaged, broke like opened, like a door that had been jammed shut by grief, suddenly swinging wide. That night, I made a decision that I have honored every single day for the past 75 years. I said, "Sal, you can be angry or you can be a father. You cannot be both." And Anna Maria did not marry an angry man. She married a man who made her laugh. So you are going to make your children laugh. You are going to honor her memory by being the man she fell in love with. Not because I wasn't sad. I was sad every single day for years. The sadness didn't leave. But I decided that sadness was not going to be the only thing my children saw when they looked at their father. They were going to see joy too. They were going to see a man who chose life, even when life had given him every reason to choose otherwise. Gloria. Now let me tell you about Gloria. 1990. I'm 70 years old. I haven't been with a woman in almost 40 years. I go to a church potluck dinner, and I want you to know the only reason I went was for the lasagna. I am telling you the absolute truth. I heard Maria Costello was bringing her lasagna, and that was reason enough. And I see this woman across the room. She's laughing at something someone said, and her whole face lights up like a window with the sun coming through it. And I think to myself, that is the most beautiful thing I have seen in 40 years. Her name was Gloria Washington. She was black. She was 62 years old. She was a retired nurse. And when I walked across that room to talk to her, half the people in the church stopped eating to watch. An old Italian man and a black woman in 1990 Brooklyn. The looks we got could have peeled paint off the walls. My own son Enzo didn't speak to me for 2 years after I married her. 2 years of silence from my own child. He said I was disgracing his mother's memory. He said the neighborhood was talking. He said people were laughing at me. I told him, "Enzo, I love you more than my own life, but I spent 40 years alone. I am 70 years old. I found someone who makes me laugh again. If the neighborhood doesn't like it, the neighborhood can go straight to hell. Stop caring what people think. At some point, and I pray it happens before you're 70, you realize that other people's opinions are just noise. They can't hurt you. They can't touch you. They have exactly as much power over your life as you choose to give them, and the correct amount to give them is 0. Gloria and I had 33 years together. 33 beautiful, ridiculous, wonderful years. She died last January in her sleep, 95 years old. I held her hand all night, felt the warmth leave her fingers so slowly it was like watching a sunset that took hours. I miss her every day, but she would be furious with me if I stopped laughing. She'd say, "Sal, don't you dare sit around feeling sorry for yourself. We had 33 years. That's more than most people get in 2 lifetimes. Be grateful and go eat something." She was right. She was always right. The small things. You want to know what makes me happy now at 106? I'll tell you. Coffee in the morning. Good, strong coffee in a cup that fits my hand. The light coming through the kitchen window at 7:30 when the sun hits the table just right and everything glows. My great-granddaughter Sophia, who is 7 years old, and calls me every Sunday without fail, and tells me about her week with the seriousness of someone delivering a presidential address. The taste of good bread, real bread, the kind with a crust that fights back when you bite it. The sound of Italian music drifting from somewhere. A warm bed on a cold night. A stranger on the street who smiles at me for no reason. That's the whole list. That's everything I need. I don't need a yacht or a mansion or a sports car or anything I don't already have. Everything that makes my life worth living is already here, already present, already available every single day. And here's the secret inside the secret. I could have been this happy at 30, at 40, at 50, but I was too busy chasing things that didn't matter, too busy worrying about problems that never materialized, too busy being afraid of outcomes that never arrived. Happiness is not at the end. Happiness is not waiting for you at the finish line of some achievement. It's not hiding behind the promotion or the house or the bank account or whatever goal you've convinced yourself is standing between you and contentment. Happiness is here, right now, in the things you already have that you walk past every single day without noticing. Tonight, do something for me. Sit down, look around. Find 3 things you're grateful for. Not big things, small things. The way your dog looks at you when you come home. The sound of your children laughing in the next room. The fact that you drew breath today without effort. Start there. Gratitude is a muscle. Exercise it daily and it grows stronger. Ignore it and it atrophies until you can't feel anything except what's missing. I lost my mother at 5, my wife at 31, my shop at 58, Gloria last year. I should be the saddest man alive. But every morning I wake up and say, "Thank you, God, for one more day." What are we going to do with it? That's the secret. Choose joy every single day while you're still here to choose it. That's all I've got for today.